and YouTube. So, talk today about data and emotions, social media platform building, which is something that I spoke about in brief yesterday. I touched upon it when I was looking at the relationship between mental health, crime, and global depression rates. This is something that I'm looking at the moment when I get investment or enough capital to build the app that I want to build. But I thought this would be helpful for a lot of startups that are trying to um, build emotions within their platforms because that is really pivotal in terms of taking your startup and building the right UXD, which I'll talk about in brief. So hopefully this will be less than 15 minutes and I'll share my screen. I've got some basic slides for you. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so data and emotions, a brief insight for social media platform building. So why did I want to give a talk around this? Because it's I was speaking about yesterday, and from the data that I had yesterday, I I felt that companies and brands and startups need more support and guidance around this. And this is ongoing research, not just myself, but a lot of independent thought leaders are doing. And I would argue that based on historical events like Facebook, for instance, and what came out from Cambridge Analytica was quite scary, but it's real. There is so much data that I have access to that I've built myself through drawing from that from LinkedIn that you're able to build AI models very quickly. But the mind is a very complex system, so it's very difficult trying to build a social media platform that is fair, is is true, and is safe because our minds are not always intact. In short, but I just thought it would be interesting to give a different take on data and emotions and social media platform building. So I'll just get into the talk as best as I can. First point is what do you want to capture? I think that's really important because I've learned recently from in my long journey building what I am building now, not just an app, but viral marketing capabilities. Where because I've studied so many algorithms now across social media platforms, do you want to capture people's emotions, which is scary, really, or are you trying to put something in the market that's going to add value to others? Watching Harvard University or innovation labs, it's very interesting to see a lot of startups, entrepreneurs that want to add value and think they have something. They think they're trying to solve a problem. But if you look at the wider spectrum of how emotions, they're all laid upon all social media platforms. Our feelings, our thoughts, our behaviours can all be captured by different buttons and certainly how we engage on our mobile phones. So I think a good place to start if you're going to build a new social media platform is what do you want to capture because social media marketing and platforms changes the game changes every day and I'm always looking for leverage on a platform where the algorithm plays stronger on the content. So sometimes you have to think that way as well. Some people argue that no, I want my business model to be sound, I want my offering to be good, but I argue what do you want to capture first and use that, align that with your business model. I think that's really important when you start to build a platform. I know with the app that I'm going to be building long term, which will take a while, I know the data intelligence that I get that's coming through, and I'm using that to build my app because I can capture a lot of emotions through my own data intelligence that I'm building, and I've got currently sitting on my laptop. okay, or it's everywhere anyway. It's all over social media. I can capture as much as I want, and I can build my AI model around that. So where I'm going to start, just to give you some insight, is predictive analytics based on how well a social media post will do against historical data. That can be from a brand or my own individual social media posts. That's where I'm going to start with, just to give you an example. Um, I think when we talk about UXD, user experience design, and emotions, they are very important. They are the nuts and bolts of any social media platform. I know that LinkedIn themselves, they scale out very small incremental innovations, which I don't believe in, to test different features. And the features, I know those features are not always available to people in that country. I think that's a real shame because innovation, if you look at case studies, real innovation is radical. And that's why I think a lot of brands are struggling in this area and this market because they're very scared to put their money where their mouth is in terms of just going for it. And I know CEOs always want data first to have that sound in place to say, right, shall we make this change? What's the data telling us? But I think when you look at UXD and how people navigate their fingers on their mobile phones, a very quick example when I talk on this in brief, you got the what I call the doom finger, doom scrolling. It's that finger there, and you're scrolling like this. That's very very important. I haven't done a lot of research around this, but there is some science around it. I think some people, especially those that are and have got a different way of thinking, that they can be more creative finger typing um, than they can in other forms. So things like that really matter. So if you're building a social media platform, how inclusive do you want to be to your audience? That matters a lot because we all think, oh, we're just going to ad space it and that's our business model. But when you talk about UXD and emotions, they have to, I would say, experiment first and see how your audience is, but then go back to the other slide that I said, what do you want to capture and leverage that across your offering and look at that market. Okay, the social media platform market is changing and the big players will always be there, but a newcomer like TikTok will come along again and they will be offering something different. They will be looking at UXD. They will be looking at what they're going to capture. Okay, I hope that makes sense. This is a very quick, inspiring talk that I put together randomly based on yesterday's talk. So my final piece, and we'll conclude it, is trying to put it all together. I don't think any social media platform in the world is ever finished because how can it be? LinkedIn, Facebook, every platform changes, competition, features, incremental innovation, radical innovation. There is a lot to sort of like put on place. You've got policies, you've got the media coming in place. It's all always changing. But I think if the intent is good for you to create opportunities, and previously the business strategy I noticed from LinkedIn was to create jobs, and now they're going for insights because there's a lot of experience on a LinkedIn platform in terms of years. I think it's about 2-3 billion or whatever it is. All the years combined together, it's probably more than that. But in a difficult market, that'd be tricky because this year and last year they turned down the algorithm breach for organic content. You can still go viral, but you'll notice that you have to pay more money to do a boost, and the boost you'll get is less. And that's the same for TikTok at the moment because now the focus is on long form content, and it's always going to be sometimes easier or harder to go viral. And it's not always about going viral, but it helps in certain markets, I would argue. And where you stand with your new platform, because you can either turn the volume up and make it more sensitive so more people get more views, or you can turn it down in the AI reach or the algorithm. So there's a lot to think about when building a new social media platform. And I hope today I've given you such a very small glimpse around um, how social media platforms can be built. Um, so yeah, that's about it from me. I didn't want to speak too long. I try and keep these talks less than 15 minutes. So this is something that was going on my head as I looked at some data yesterday from another talk from me, really. The app that I'm building is going to take time. I'll try and put an MVP out as soon as I can, but I'm working on my own, and I need some capital for that. But that's mental health for use, because I have a lot of data that I can pull on. I'm capturing that every day. That's fine. That's not a problem. It's how I use that and help other companies and brands enter new markets with new products in these difficult times. That's my goal. Anyway, from me, hope you've enjoyed data and emotions and how we might put that core. You can take out whatever elements you want from this. If you're a startup or even you're a big brand and you've got something, okay, there's certain parts of that talk that we want to leverage from. Go ahead and dive into that. But anyway, I'll be here again tomorrow. I'm not sure on tomorrow's live talk because they're very random. Okay, and the reason why they're random, because of data. Data tells me that you prefer random talks, and that's it. All right, guys, have a good. If it's shining, which it is for me, you probably can't see this, but I'll show you a glimpse. It's pretty nice out there. Anyway, I'll bid you a good day, guys, and yeah, have a great one.